Hello students, today we are going to discuss with a new topic, that is respiration in higher plants. Already we have completed photosynthesis. In photosynthesis we have seen simple inorganic compounds like carbon dioxide and water. They are used and complex organic compounds they are synthesized. Carbohydrates they are synthesized. As during photosynthesis food material is synthesized. Photosynthesis it is called as anabolic process. But as far as respiration is concerned, see, in respiration food material is broken down and energy is released. As food material it is broken down, it is called as catabolic process. Means photosynthesis it is the anabolic, respiration it is the catabolic process. Photosynthesis it is an energy storing process, endergonic, while respiration is energy releasing process, it is called as exergonic process. As far as energy is concerned, we know that energy it is a capacity to do work. Every living organism it requires, all living organisms they requires energy to carry out various activities. These activities they may be growth, they may be reproduction. Means each and every living organism it requires energy. When we talk about respiration, say respiration, this one is an intracellular process. Intracellular process means it takes place inside the cell. Intracellular process of oxidation, where complex organic compounds they are broken down in stepwise manner to release energy. Remember here, respiration it is an intracellular process of oxidation in which complex organic compounds they are broken down in stepwise manner and energy is released. Then question arises, why organic compounds they are broken down in stepwise manner? Because respiration occurs inside the cell, and if organic compound is suddenly broken, then what will happen? The all amount of energy it will be released and cell will die immediately. To prevent this, it is broken in stepwise manner. Then this term respiration it was coined by Dutrojet. कुणी काय coined केली term Dutrojet. Next point, that is organic food material. It contains inactive energy or it is also called as potential energy. जो organic compound आहे, जे organic food आहे किंवा ज्याला आपण ऑर्गॅनिक सबस्ट्रेट म्हणूया, याच्यामध्ये जी एनर्जी आहे ती इनएक्टिव्ह आहे किंवा त्याला आपण पोटेन्शियल एनर्जी म्हणतो. And when organic food it is broken down, means in respiration process, this potential energy it is converted into kinetic energy, means it is converted into usable form. Stored energy it is converted into usable form. Like to that of photosynthesis. Here we can say that respiration it is also oxidation reduction process. Oxidation reduction process means here organic compounds these are oxidized to carbon dioxide and oxygen absorbed, oxygen taken it is reduced to water. हे लक्षात ठेवा बरं का, रेस्पिरेशन ला आपण ऑक्सिडेशन रिडक्शन प्रोसेस म्हणतो. काय म्हणतो, कारण रेस्पिरेशन मध्ये ऑर्गॅनिक कंपाउंड they are oxidized to carbon dioxide and oxygen absorbed it is reduced to water. See, this is the equation, C6H12O6 plus 6O2 it gives 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus 38 ATP molecule. These are produced. This is the equation of respiration. Respiration it occurs in all living organisms except viruses. Viruses सोडले तर सगळ्या लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये रेस्पिरेशन होते. It occurs in all living organisms except viruses, and respiration occurs continuously during day and night. Occurs during day and night continuously. During the process of respiration, when food material it is broken down, then energy is released, and this energy it is stored in the form of ATP molecule, or it is made available in the form of ATP molecule. आता ज्यांचं ब्रेकडाऊन होतं, आपण म्हणलं की नाही रेस्पिरेशन मध्ये फूड मटेरियल ब्रेकडाऊन होतं. ब्रेकडाऊन होतं म्हणजे त्याचं ऑक्सिडेशन होतं, म्हणजे the organic compounds which are oxidized, which are used, or which are broken down, very important point, these are called as respiratory substrate. In respiration, the organic compounds, organic substances which are oxidized, or which are used, or which are broken down, these are called as respiratory substrate. Carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and organic acid, these are used as a respiratory substrate. Organic acid असेल, protein असेल, fats असतील किंवा carbohydrate असतील, they are used as a respiratory substrate. आता याच्यामध्ये जर आपण पाहिलं, सिंपल शुगर ज्याला आपण म्हणतो ग्लुकोज आणि फ्रुक्टोज, they are directly used as a respiratory substrate, while sucrose and starch, these are hydrolyzed first into simple sugar and then they are used as a respiratory substrate. आता sucrose आणि starch हे कॉम्प्लेक्स कार्बोहायड्रेट आहे. पहिल्यांदा यांचं काय करावं लागेल, हायड्रोलायसिस करावं लागेल आणि नंतर मग रेस्पिरेटरी सबस्ट्रेट म्हणून वापरता येतील. एन्झाइम्स which are used, these are amylase, maltase and invertase for the conversion of complex carbohydrate into simple carbohydrate. Then most commonly used respiratory substrate, most commonly लक्षात असू द्या, this one is nothing but it is glucose. Then proteins they are used as a respiratory substrate, but when fats and carbohydrates these are not available, means first preference is given to glucose as a respiratory substrate. If fats and carbohydrates these are not available, then proteins they can be also used as a respiratory substrate. Organism which respires in presence of oxygen, they are called as obligate aerobes. Very important point. Organisms which respires in presence of oxygen, they are called as obligate aerobes, and organism which respires in absence of oxygen, they are called as obligate anaerobes. They are called as obligate anaerobes. Next point, that is respiration and breathing. Now we have to discuss about respiration and breathing, or what is the difference between respiration and breathing. Here in both process there is intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. Intake of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide. Breathing does not occur in plant. Breathing plant मध्ये होत नाही. Breathing does not occur in plant. Respiration, it is an intracellular and it is an enzyme controlled process. Now again we will discuss about the respiration and combustion. What is the difference between these two? Respiration आणि combustion मध्ये डिफरन्स काय आहे आपल्याला माहिती आहे. बघा, दोन्ही प्रोसेस मध्ये जर आपण पाहिलं, in both process there is a breakdown of organic substance, requirement of oxygen, there is a liberation of energy and formation of carbon dioxide and water. हे जे सगळे इव्हेंट्स आहेत, all these events they occurs in respiration as well as in combustion. दोन्ही मध्ये कॉमन काय, दोन्ही मध्ये रेस्पिरेटरी सबस्ट्रेटचं ब्रेकडाऊन होतं, दोन्ही मध्ये ऑक्सिजनची रिक्वायरमेंट आहे, दोन्ही मध्ये एनर्जी रिलीज होते आणि दोन्ही मध्ये काय होतं, देयर इज अ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कार्बन डायऑक्साइड अँड वॉटर. पण आता काही डिफरन्स याच्यामध्ये बघा. रेस्पिरेशन इट इज अ सेल्युलर प्रोसेस, while combustion it is a non-cellular process. Respiration, cellular process. Combustion is a non-cellular process. Respiration, in respiration, respiratory substrate is broken down in stepwise manner, while in combustion, respiratory substrate is oxidized or it undergoes burning suddenly. ये जो stepwise manner मध्ये breakdown, they are sudden breakdown. In respiration, ATP molecule these are formed, while in combustion, ATP molecule these are not formed. म्हणजे respiration cellular, combustion non cellular. Respiration मध्ये ATP molecule तयार होता है, combustion मध्ये ATP molecule these are not produced. Now next point, that is types of respiration. On the basis of presence or absence of oxygen, on the basis of involvement of oxygen, there are two types of respiration. One is aerobic respiration and another one is anaerobic respiration. And these two types they are given by SAT in 1890. According to SAT, there are two types of respiration, and these two types are on the basis of presence or absence of oxygen. First type, now we will discuss, that is aerobic respiration. Presence of oxygen it is a compulsory, or respiration which involves oxygen for breakdown of respiratory substrate, that is aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration it was first reported by Kostychev. इकडे लक्ष द्या बरं, याच्यामध्ये डिफरन्स आहे. मगाशी आपण काय पाहिलं, टर्म रेस्पिरेशन इट वाज कॉइन्ड बाय न्यूट्रोचेक, पण एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन is reported for the first time by Kostychev. And as there is involvement of participation of oxygen, there is a complete breakdown of respiratory substrate. एक लक्षात घ्या, जर ऑक्सिजन असेल तर रेस्पिरेटरी सबस्ट्रेट कंप्लीट ब्रेकडाउन, ऑक्सिजन नसेल तर इनकम्प्लीट. Then carbon dioxide, water they are formed and large amount of energy is released. Large amount of energy is released. Most of eukaryotic organisms they reproduces aerobically. Aerobic respiration it is completed. पुढे complete होते. Aerobic respiration is completed in cytoplasm as well as in mitochondria. अदरवाइज एक ग्लूकोज मॉलिक्यूल त्याचं जर ब्रेकडाउन झालं, one glucose molecule, if it is completely broken down, then it releases 686 kilocalorie energy and 38 ATP molecule desired. आता बघा, एकूण 38 ATP molecule तयार होतात एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन मध्ये. एक ATP molecule जर तयार करायचा असेल तर 7.3 kilocalorie energy is required for synthesis of 1 ATP. 7.3 kilocalorie energy is required. Then question comes, how much amount of energy is required for 38 ATP molecule? Now we will multiply 38 ATP into 7.3. It comes about to 77.4 kilocalorie. एक लक्षात घ्या, एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन मध्ये एटीपी किती तयार होत आहे? 38. For synthesis of 1 ATP, 7.3 kilocalorie energy is required. Therefore, for synthesis of 38 ATP, 38 into 7.3, that is 277.4 kilocalorie energy is required. Means out of 686 kilocalorie, only 277.4 kilocalorie energy is conserved as usable form. Conserved as usable form. It comes to about 40%. आता याची जर efficiency पाहिजे झालं तर efficiency किती आहे? 40%. Means out of 686 kilocalorie, this much is available as usable form. It is multiplied by 100 to 77.4 by 686 into 100. It comes to about 40%. Means efficiency of aerobic respiration is 40%. Just now we have discussed about the aerobic respiration. respiration. We have seen aerobic respiration, it takes place in presence of oxygen. And due to presence of oxygen, respiratory substrate, it is completely broken down. And thus, during aerobic respiration, 38 ATP molecules these are produced. For synthesis of 1 ATP molecule, we have seen 7.3 kilocalorie energy is required. Therefore, for synthesis of 38 ATP molecule, 277.4 kilocalorie energy is required. And when we talk about the efficiency of aerobic respiration, it is 40%. Now we have to discuss next point, that is anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration, it takes place in absence of oxygen. Anaerobic respiration, it was reported by Pasteur in 1902. In aerobic respiration, there is a complete breakdown of respiratory substrate, but here in anaerobic respiration, there is an incomplete breakdown of respiratory substrate. म्हणजे ऑक्सिजन नसल्यामुळे रेस्पिरेटरी सबस्ट्रेट जो आहे त्याचा इनकम्प्लीट ब्रेकडाउन होतो. एंड प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ anaerobic respiration, these are ethanol or lactic acid and carbon dioxide is released. Anaerobic respiration is commonly seen in lower organism like fungi as well as certain bacteria. Aerobic respiration we have takes place in cytoplasm as well as mitochondria, but anaerobic respiration occurs or completed only in cytoplasm. Mitochondria it is not equal. During anaerobic respiration, only 2 ATP molecules these are produced. बघा aerobic respiration मध्ये 38 ATP तयार होतात, याच्यामध्ये फक्त 2च ATP तयार होतात. इक्वेशन बघा C6H12O6, it gives twice of C2H5OH plus 2CO2 plus 2 ATP, means in anaerobic respiration net gain of ATP it is only 2 molecules. We have also discussed for synthesis of 1 ATP molecule 7.3 kilocalorie energy is required. Therefore, for synthesis of 2 ATP molecule 14.6 kilocalorie energy is required. Means out of 686 kilocalorie, only 14.6 kilocalorie energy is conserved. Therefore, the efficiency it is 14.6 by 686 into 100, that is 2.12%. Means efficiency of aerobic respiration it is 40% and efficiency of anaerobic respiration it is 2.12%. Now we will discuss about the structure of ATP molecule. We know that when respiratory substrate is broken down, then energy is released, and this energy it is stored in the form of ATP molecule. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. ATP it is energy rich organic compound. It is energy rich organic compound which is only usable form of energy, and that is why C it is called as energy currency of cell, it is called as energy coin of cell, or it can be called as ATM of cell, because when cell requires energy, this ATP molecule it undergoes hydrolysis and provides energy, hence it is called as energy currency or energy coin of cell. Then another point, that is the same, each ATP molecule it consists of adenine, it is a nitrogen base, pentose sugar and 3 phosphate group. Say this is a adenine, this is a pentose sugar, and these are the 3 phosphate groups. When adenine combines with pentose sugar, it forms adenosine, and when adenosine combines with 3 phosphate groups, then it is called as adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. आता याच्यामध्ये 3 phosphate bonds आहेत. Say this is the first phosphate bond, second phosphate bond, and this is the third phosphate bond. First phosphate bond it is a low energy bond and remaining these two, they are high energy bond. Means first phosphate bond, it is having 3.4 kilocalorie energy. Second bond, it is having 7.3 kilocalorie energy, and third 7.3. Means in one ATP molecule, the total amount of energy, it is 18 kilocalorie. It is 18 kilocalorie. And when cell requires energy, whenever there is a demand of energy, when there is a need of energy, then this third phosphate bond, it is broken down and 7.3 kilocalorie energy it is released. That is used by cell to carry out different activities. Now we have to discuss about site of respiration, where respiration takes place or where food material it is broken down. There are three scientists. First one is Waghboom, second one is Skinner, and third one is Pallet. These three scientists in 1948 recognized that mitochondria is a site of aerobic respiration. पहिल्यांदा या तिघांनी सांगितलं की एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन कुठे होतं, माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया मध्ये. म्हणजे माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया इज साइट ऑफ एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन. नेम माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया. तर माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया it was coined by Benda in 1887, but mitochondria they were discovered in striated muscle fibers by Colliker in 1880. 1880 मध्ये striated muscle fiber मध्ये Colliker ने mitochondria discover केले, पण name mitochondria it was suggested by Benda in 1887. Then mitochondria they are called as powerhouse of cell by Sequits. Sequits हा सायंटिस्ट आहे. याला माइटोकॉन्ड्रियाला पॉवर हाउस ऑफ सेल हे नाव आहे. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया these are filamentous. They are granular organelles which are found in eukaryotes, but they are absent in bacterial cell. They are absent in bacterial cell, and enzymes which are required to complete Krebs cycle as well as electron transport system, they are located in mitochondria. Then mitochondria it contains DNA as well as ribosome which are required for protein synthesis. Mitochondria मध्ये DNA आहे, राइबोसोम आहे, ज्याच्या मदतीने काय केलं जाईल, प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस केलं जाईल. Mitochondria these are colorless and they are stained by, very important point, mitochondria they are colorless, they are stained by Janus green B stain. This is the stain. नंतर आपण याचं ऑकरन्स बघूया, वेअर इट इज फाउंड. माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया दे ऑकर्स इन साइटोप्लाझम ऑफ ऑल eukaryotic cell, but they are absent in prokaryotic cell as well as they are also absent in RBC. तुम्हाला तर माहिती आहे की RBC मध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारचा सेल ऑर्गनेल नाही. नंतर त्यांचा नंबर आपण पाहूया. नंबर ऑफ माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया डिपेंड्स अपॉन टाइप ऑफ सेल and functional state of cell. Otherwise, if cell is from animal, it is having more number of mitochondria than plant cell. म्हणजे animal cell मध्ये mitochondria जास्त आहे, plant cell मध्ये कमी आहे. Cell if it is metabolically active, then it is having more number of mitochondria as compared to the inactive cell. Germinating seeds, they are having more number of mitochondria as compared to the dormant cell. Means number depends upon type of cell and functional state of cell. Then as far as size is concerned, say mitochondria these are third largest cell organelle. First largest cell organelle nucleus, second largest cell organelle chloroplast, and third largest cell organelle that is mitochondria. It measures about 2.5 micrometer in length and 0.5 to 1 micrometer in diameter. जे diameter एवढा आहे 0.5 to 1 micrometer आणि length किती आहे 2.5 micrometer. साइज किती आहे थर्ड लार्जेस्ट सेल ऑर्गनेल आहे. So this is about the general guideline regarding the mitochondria. Now we have discussed about the site for respiration. We have seen mitochondria it makes site for aerobic respiration. Or food material it is broken down in stepwise manner in mitochondria. We have seen mitochondria, they were discovered by Kolliker in 1880 in splenic muscles. Name mitochondria it was suggested by Kolliker. Later on we have seen their occurrence, their size as well as number. Regarding their number, we have seen the number of mitochondria in cell depends upon type of cell and functional state of cell. In animal cell, we have seen mitochondria, these are more in number, while in plant cell, mitochondria, they are less in number. Those cells which are engaged with intense metabolic activities, means those cells which are active, they are having more number of mitochondria, and inactive cells, they are having less number of mitochondria. Germinating seeds, they are having more number of mitochondria, while dormant seeds, they are having less number of mitochondria. Up to this point we have discussed in the last just earlier. Now we will see ultrastructure of mitochondria. See, when we talk about the ultrastructure means this one is the structure of mitochondria which is seen under electron microscope. Under electron microscope, mitochondria, it shows two limiting membrane and matrix. These are the main components. Two limiting membrane and third one, that is matrix. As far as membranes are concerned, say mitochondria, it is a double membrane bounded structure. Double membrane bounded means this one is having two membranes. This is the outer membrane, this one is inner membrane. And each membrane, that may be outer membrane, that may be inner membrane. Each membrane, it is 60 angstrom in thickness. It is 60 angstrom in thickness and lipoprotein in nature, means they are made up of lipid and protein. म्हणजे माइटोकॉन्ड्रियाच्या भोवती दोन मेम्ब्रेन्स आहेत. Mitochondria, it is a double membrane bounded structure. Each membrane, it is 60 angstrom in thickness. Outer असेल किंवा inner असेल, 60 angstrom in thickness. They are made up of lipid and protein, means they are lipoprotein in nature. They are lipoprotein in nature. And this space which is present between these two membranes, that is outer membrane and inner membrane, it is called as outer chamber. काय म्हणतात आपण? हा जो space आहे, it is called as outer chamber. And this outer chamber, it is filled with fluid. It is filled with water in it. And space inside inner membrane, this entire space it is called as inner chamber. And inner chamber, it is filled with matrix. It is filled with matrix. Then we will see separately regarding the outer and inner membrane. See, outer membrane is smooth, it is thin, it is continuous, and it is freely permeable. इधर थोड़ा दोन्ही membrane मध्ये आपल्याला difference पाहायचा आहे. Outer membrane कसा आहे? Outer membrane is smooth, it is thin, it is continuous, it is freely permeable. It contains few enzymes, and it is poor in protein. It contains a protein that is called as porine protein. That is called as porine protein, and this porine protein, it makes outer membrane freely permeable. बघा outer membrane कसा आहे? Smooth, thin, continuous, freely permeable. Contain few enzymes, poor in protein, but contain porine protein, that is that makes outer membrane freely permeable. And outer membrane, it is not associated with synthesis of ATP. Inner membrane, it is associated with synthesis of ATP. Then inner membrane, it is rough, it is discontinuous, it is semi-permeable, it is rich in enzymes, electron carriers as well as carrier protein. It is rich in enzymes, electron carriers and carrier protein. It is thrown into number of input. आता सांगितलं ना, it is a discontinuous. Means it is thrown into these input, and these input they are called as crystal. काय म्हणतो आपण? They are called as crystal. And see, this inner membrane, it is concerned with ATP synthesis. ATP synthesis. Now we will discuss about the second point, that is cristae. Just now we have seen this inner membrane, it is rough, it is discontinuous, it is thrown into these input, and these input they are called as the cristae. Means cristae, these are input formed by inner membrane, are usually finger shaped. They are finger shaped. Number of cristae depends upon the size of mitochondria. See, if cell it is active, then it is having large number of cristae, and if cell it is inactive, then it is having less number of cristae. In active cell मध्ये cristae they are more in number, and in inactive cell cristae they are less in number. And these cristae they bears F1 particles, stopped particles. These stopped particles they are called as oxysomes, or they are called as F1 particles, or they are called as elementary particles. म्हणजे हे जे क्रिस्टी आहे, या क्रिस्टी वरती जे स्टॉप्ड पार्टिकल्स इथे तुम्हाला दिसतायत, या स्टॉप्ड पार्टिकलला आपण काय म्हणतो? these are called as oxysomes, they are called as elementary particles, or they are called as F1 particles. Now we will discuss about the F1 particles. Stopped particles, see, stopped particles which are present on inner membrane of mitochondria, these are called as F1 particles. They are also called as F0 F1 particles. F1 particle म्हणा, oxysome म्हणा किंवा elementary particle म्हणा, याचं दुसरं नाव काय आहे? F0 F1 particle. And space between two oxysome, this is 100 angstrom. दोन oxysomeच्या मधला जो space आहे तो 100 angstrom आहे. Oxysome has base or F0 subunit which is directed toward the C base, and head or F1 subunit this is directed toward the M base. It is directed toward the M base. Then it consists three parts. Each F1 particle consists three parts. First one is head, second one is top, and third one is base. See, as far as this head is concerned, this part it is called as head, this part it is called as top, and this part it is called as base. It is called as the base. आता हेडच्या बाबतीमध्ये जर बोलायचं झालं तर हेड it is spherical, it is 100 angstrom in diameter, and it contains ATPase enzyme which is responsible for synthesis of ATP. Head it is spherical, this is 100 angstrom in diameter, contain ATPase enzyme that is responsible for synthesis of ATP. Then second part, that is stop. See, stop it is a connection between head and base. Head आणि base मधलं जे connection आहे त्याला आपण stop म्हणतो. It is a 33 angstrom in height. 33 angstrom in height, and this base it is 115 angstrom in length and 45 angstrom in thickness. म्हणजे base आता बघा, हेडचा शेप आपण पाहिला. हेडचा शेप कसा आहे? हेडचा शेप आहे स्फेरिकल, आणि बेस जर पाहिलं तर बेसचा शेप जर सांगायचं झालं तर बेस इट इज रेक्टँग्युलर इन शेप. इट इज रेक्टँग्युलर इन शेप. आता बेस 115 angstrom in length and 45 angstrom in thickness. Now next point, that is a matrix. See, this inner chamber it is filled by dense fluid. This is called as matrix. म्हणजे inner chamber जो आहे, inner chamber मध्ये जे dense fluid material आहे, this is called as matrix. Matrix it contains enzymes required for Krebs cycle. It contains 70S ribosome which is a site of protein synthesis. Matrix मध्ये काय आहे? Matrix मध्ये enzymes आहेत, these are required to complete Krebs cycle. नंतर याच्यामध्ये 70S टाइपचे राइबोसोम आहे, सिंगल सर्क्युलर डीएनए मॉलिक्यूल आहे, आणि हा जो सिंगल सर्क्युलर डीएनए मॉलिक्यूल आहे याला आपण काय म्हणतो? दिस इज कॉल्ड ॲज माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल डीएनए. इट इज कॉल्ड ॲज माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल डीएनए. दिस डीएनए मेक्स mitochondria self-replicating and semi-autonomous. Means remember here, only some of the proteins which are required by synthesizable mitochondria itself. But for most of proteins, mitochondria depends upon DNA and cytoplasmic ribosome. That is why it is called as semi-autonomous. म्हणजे थोडेफार प्रोटीन तो स्वतः तयार करतो, पण मेजॉरिटी प्रोटीन साठी तो कुणावरती डिपेंड आहे, डिपेंड्स ऑन डीएनए अँड सायटोप्लाझ्मिक राइबोसोम. That is why it is called as semi-autonomous structure. It is semi-autonomous structure. So this is about the ultra structure of mitochondria. काय काय शिकलो याच्यामध्ये? दोन मेम्ब्रेन शिकलो, त्याच्यानंतर आपण क्रिस्टी पाहिलं, त्याच्यानंतर F1 पार्टिकल पाहिलं, F1 पार्टिकलचे 3 पार्ट्स पाहिले आणि शेवटी मॅट्रिक्स पाहिलं. मॅट्रिक्स मध्ये काय काय? मॅट्रिक्स मध्ये क्रेबच्या सायकल साठी लागणारे एन्झाइम्स आहेत, 70S स्ट्रेंथचा राइबोसोम आहे, सिंगल सर्क्युलर डीएनए मॉलिक्यूल आहे. तर दिस इज अबाउट द अल्ट्रा स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया. नाउ वी विल सी द फर्स्ट phase of respiration, that is aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration we have seen it requires presence of oxygen, or here we can say that organic food material it is broken down in presence of oxygen. Aerobic respiration it include 3 major steps. पहली स्टेप कुठली आहे? ग्लायकोलिसिस, सेकंड स्टेप Krebs cycle, and third one that is called as ATS or terminal oxidation. जवळपास त्या 3 मेन स्टेप आपल्याला एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन मध्ये पाहिजे आणि या 3 स्टेप संपल्या तर जवळपास हा टॉपिक संपल्यासारखा आहे. We have discussed aerobic respiration. It is completed in 3 steps. First step that is called as glycolysis, second step that is called as Krebs cycle, and third step that is called as electron transport system or electron transport chain, or it is also called as terminal oxidation. Now we will discuss the first step that is called as glycolysis. And remember here glycolysis it is a common both to aerobic as well as anaerobic respiration. So see, glycolysis this is first step of aerobic respiration, and glycolysis it is also found from the anaerobic respiration. Glycolysis takes place in cytoplasm in absence of oxygen. In absence of oxygen in cytoplasm, and as it takes place in cytoplasm, it is also called as cytoplasmic respiration. It is also called as cytoplasmic respiration. This one is common pathway for aerobic as well as anaerobic respiration. मी आता सांगितलं का नाही, ग्लायकोलिसिस ऑक्सिजनच्या प्रेझेन्सी मध्ये होतं, ग्लायकोलिसिस ऑक्सिजनच्या ॲब्सेन्सी मध्ये होतं. म्हणजे इट इज अ कॉमन स्टेप both for aerobic as well as anaerobic respiration, and each step in glycolysis it is controlled by specific enzymes. Every step is controlled by specific enzymes. In glycolysis, glucose is broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvic acid in stepwise manner. Glycolysis मध्ये काय होते? हा जो ग्लुकोज मॉलिक्यूल आहे, this glucose molecule is broken down into 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound that is called as pyruvic acid. Then entire scheme of glycolysis it was discovered by 3 German scientists. Entire scheme of glycolysis was discovered by 3 German scientists, Emden, Meyerhoff and Parnas. That is why this one is also called as EMP pathway. काय म्हणजे त्याला another name that is EMP pathway. लक्षात घ्या बरं, अल्टरनेटिव्ह नेम म्हणून तुम्हाला परीक्षेमध्ये विचारलं जाऊ शकतं. In plant, glucose it is derived from sucrose or storage carbohydrate. We have discussed sucrose or starch they are not directly broken down. Initially they are converted into simple sugar. Means here also sucrose it is converted into simple sugar like glucose and fructose. Glucose and fructose. in presence of enzyme or with the help of enzyme, that is called as invertase. That is called as invertase. Now these glucose and fructose, they enters into glycolysis, means they are broken down in stepwise manner. Now we will discuss glycolysis in detail. आता एक लक्षात घ्या, नेट असू द्या किंवा सीडी असू द्या, याच्यामधल्या प्रत्येक स्टेपला तेवढं वेटेज आहे. आणि सगळ्यात महत्त्वाचं म्हणजे आपण जे आता पाहिलं की प्रत्येक स्टेप जे आहे इट इज कंट्रोल बाय स्पेसिफिक एन्झाइम. हे एन्झाइम्स तुम्हाला लक्षात ठेवावेच लागतील. मला लक्षामध्ये एन्झाइम लक्षात ठेवावे लागतील. आता याच्यामध्ये जी पहिली स्टेप आहे, फर्स्ट स्टेप दॅट इज फॉस्फोरिलेशन. सी इन फॉस्फोरिलेशन 6 कार्बन कंपाउंड ग्लुकोज, it is phosphorylated to form glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose 6 phosphate means here one phosphate group is removed from glucose, it is converted into glucose 6 phosphate, means ATP it is converted into ADP. Then see this glucose 6 phosphate is converted into its isomer fructose 6 phosphate in presence of enzyme phosphofructokinase. phosphofructokinase. आता बघा, पहिल्या स्टेप मध्ये जो एन्झाइम आहे तो हेक्सोकायनेज आहे. ग्लुकोजचं काय झालं, फॉस्फोरिलेशन झालं, म्हणजे ग्लुकोज मध्ये एक फॉस्फेट ग्रुप ऍड केला, ग्लुकोज 6 फॉस्फेट तयार झाला. हा सुद्धा 6 कार्बन कंपाउंड आहे. आता ग्लुकोज 6 फॉस्फेट इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू इट्स आयसोमर फ्रुक्टोज 6 फॉस्फेट. या स्टेपला आपण काय म्हणलो, आयसोमरायझेशन फर्स्ट म्हणलो. आणि एन्झाइम कुठला आहे, फॉस्फोग्लुको आयसोमरेज. कुठला एन्झाइम आहे, फॉस्फोग्लुको आयसोमरेज. आता हे आयसोमर्स आहे म्हणजे दीज आर इंटर कन्व्हर्टिबल. आता तिसऱ्या स्टेप मध्ये काय होते, फ्रुक्टोज 6 फॉस्फेट इज फॉस्फोरिलेटेड बाय युजिंग एटीपी and it result into formation of fructose 1,6 diphosphate. This reaction takes place, or this conversion takes place in presence of enzyme phosphofructokinase. In next step it is cleavage. Here what happens, in presence of aldolase enzyme fructose 1,6 diphosphate, it is broken down into two molecules of 3 carbon compound. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate and second one is phosphoglyceraldehyde. इथं फ्रुक्टोज 1,6 डायफॉस्फेट काय होतो, क्लीवेज होतो, हा स्प्लिट होतो अल्डोलेस एन्झाइमच्या मदतीने आणि दोन मॉलिक्युल्स तयार होतात 3 कार्बन कंपाउंडचे. एक आहे डायहायड्रोक्सीएसिटोन फॉस्फेट आणि दुसरा आहे फॉस्फोग्लिसरॉल्डिहाइड. आता हे दोन्ही जे आहेत ते दोन्ही एकमेकांचे आयसोमर्स आहेत. मग पुढची स्टेप आहे आयसोमरायझेशन सेकंड. मीन्स हियर डायहायड्रोक्सीएसिटोन फॉस्फेट इट कॅन बी कन्वर्टेड इनटू PgAl and PgAl it can be converted into dihydroxyacetone phosphate. इंटर कन्व्हर्टिबल. पण एक लक्षात घ्या, इथून पुढच्या स्टेप मध्ये फॉस्फोग्लिसरॉल्डिहाइड पार्टिसिपेट होतो. मीन्स in all remaining reaction PgAl participate, that is why dihydroxyacetone phosphate is converted into PgAl. Next step, that is oxidation and phosphorylation. This is isomerization आहे ना, it takes place in presence of enzyme phosphotriose isomerase. कुठला एन्झाइम आहे, phosphotriose isomerase. आता हा जो PgAl आहे फॉस्फोग्लिसराइड आहे. आता इथून पुढचे सगळ्यांचे दोन मॉलिक्युल्स आहेत. 2 molecules of PgAl, 2 molecules of 1,3-diphosphoglyseric acid, 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglyceric acid, so on. तर PgAl initially it undergoes oxidation and then it undergoes phosphorylation. It results into formation of 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid. जेव्हा PgAl चं ऑक्सिडेशन होईल त्याच्यामधून हायड्रोजन रिमूव्ह होईल. काय रिमूव्ह होईल, हायड्रोजन रिमूव्ह होईल. This hydrogen it is taken by NAD and NAD it is converted into NADH and then there is addition of phosphate group, that is why oxidation and phosphorylation. Now 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid. आता ही जी रिएक्शन आहे it takes place in presence of phosphoglyceraldehyde dehydrogenase. 1,3-diphosphoglyceric acid say This is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Here, one phosphate group is added into ADP and it get converted into ATP. Means here ATP, two ATP molecules are formed. It is called as ATP generation. First takes place in presence of enzyme phosphoglycerokinase. Phosphoglycerokinase. That's it. 3-phosphoglyceric acid. It is converted into its isomer to phosphoglyceric acid in presence of enzyme phosphoglyceromutase. Then 2-phosphoglyceric acid, it undergoes dehydration. There is a removal of water molecule. Undergoes dehydration. It is converted into phosphoenol pyruvic acid, and enzyme which control this reaction, it is enolase. And finally, here phosphoenol pyruvic acid is hydrolyzed in presence of enzyme pyruvate kinase. It forms pyruvic acid, and here also two ATP molecule these are produced. Thus, finally, we can say that during glycolysis process, one glucose molecule is converted into two molecules of 3-carbon compound, that is called as pyruvic acid or pyruvate, and each step it is controlled by specific enzymes. These enzymes we have seen in detail. Now, at the end of this reaction, glycolysis, two molecules of pyruvate these are formed, and net gain of ATP it is 2 ATP. आता बघा याच्यामध्ये in initial steps of glycolysis these 2 ATP molecules they are used. 2 ATP molecules they are used, but in later step 4 ATP molecules they are produced. Means net gain of ATP it is 4 ATP minus 2 ATP. अगर net gain of ATP 4 ATP these are directly formed, 2 ATP they are used. म्हणजे 4 ATP डायरेक्ट तयार झाले. इथं शेवटच्या स्टेप मध्ये 2 आणि इथे 2. हे 4 ATP तयार झाले. वरती वापरले किती 2. म्हणजे टोटल फॉर्म 4. Total used 2 means net gain of ATP it is 2, but in anaerobic condition. This is very important. Anaerobic आपण जे ग्लायकोलिसिस पाहतो ते anaerobic कंडिशन मध्ये. म्हणजे ग्लायकोलिसिस मध्ये नेट गेन किती आहे 2 ATP anaerobic कंडिशन. पण आपण हेही पाहिलं इट आल्सो टेक्स प्लेस इन प्रेझेन्स ऑफ ऑक्सिजन. मग जर एरोबिक कंडिशन असते तर टोटल एटीपी फॉर्म these are 10. आता हा कसे these 2 ATP plus 2 ATP 4 ATP. Here 2 NADH2 are produced. 2 NADH2 into 3 ATP. एक NADH2 किती ATP देतो 3 ATP. म्हणजे 2 NADH2 it gives 6 ATP. 6 plus 4 10 ATP. And 2 ATP used means same net gain of ATP in aerobic condition it is 8. हे लक्षात ठेवा बरं का. अनएरोबिक कंडिशन मध्ये ग्लायकोलिसिस मध्ये नेट गेन इट इज 2 ATP आणि एरोबिक कंडिशन मध्ये नेट गेन इट इज 8 ATP. See, we have discussed about the first step in aerobic respiration, that is glycolysis. We know aerobic respiration it is completed in 3 steps. That is, first one is glycolysis, second one it is called as Krebs cycle, and third one that is called as electron transport system or terminal oxidation. In glycolysis we have discussed one molecule of glucose. It produces 2 molecules of 3-carbon compound pyruvic acid. Here in glycolysis glucose is incompletely oxidized. Only 5% energy is released and rest of 95% energy is stored or is present still in pyruvic acid. For complete breakdown of pyruvic acid it must undergo mitochondria. It must enters in mitochondria. But pyruvic acid formed at end of glycolysis does not directly enters into mitochondria, and hence initially it is converted into 2-carbon compound acetyl, and this process it is called as acetylation of pyruvate or it is called as link reaction. म्हणजे जो ग्लायकोलिसिसच्या शेवटी तयार झालेला पायरुव्हिक ऍसिड आहे त्याचं कंप्लीट ब्रेकडाऊन होण्यासाठी मायटोकॉन्ड्रियामध्ये तो गेला पाहिजे, पण तो मायटोकॉन्ड्रियामध्ये डायरेक्ट जात नाही. म्हणून 3 कार्बन कंपाऊंड पायरुव्हिक ऍसिडचं कन्व्हर्जन कशामध्ये केलं जातं? 2 कार्बन कंपाऊंड ऍसिटिल किंवा त्याच्यापासून ऍसिटिल कोएन्झाइम ए तयार होतो. याला ऍसिटायलेशन ऑफ पायरुव्हेट म्हणतो किंवा लिंक रिएक्शन. See, pyruvic acid before entering into Krebs cycle, it undergoes oxidative decarboxylation. Undergoes oxidative decarboxylation. Oxidative means oxidation. Here there is removal of hydrogen, and decarboxylation means there is a removal of carbon dioxide. म्हणजे पायरुव्हिक ऍसिड क्रेबच्या सायकल मध्ये एंट्री करण्यापूर्वी त्याचं ऑक्सिडेशन होतं, हायड्रोजन रिमूव्ह होतं. डिकार्बोक्सिलेशन होते, कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिमूव्ह होतं. म्हणजे रिमूव्हल ऑफ कार्बन डायऑक्साइड अँड रिमूव्हल ऑफ हायड्रोजन टेक्स प्लेस. दिस रिएक्शन इट इज कॅटॅलाइज्ड, म्हणजे हे जे ऑक्सिडेटिव्ह डिकार्बोक्सिलेशन रिएक्शन आहे इट इज कॅटॅलाइज्ड बाय एन्झाइम दॅट इज कॉल्ड पायरुव्हेट डिहायड्रोजिनेज. देन coenzymes NAD and coenzyme A, these are required for this reaction. When pyruvic acid it undergoes decarboxylation. First it undergoes decarboxylation. Then there is removal of carbon dioxide and then it undergoes oxidation. Means here there is a removal of hydrogen. And this hydrogen removed, it is taken by coenzyme NAD and it forms NADH2. म्हणजे पायरुव्हिक ऍसिडचं पहिल्यांदा काय होते? डिकार्बोक्सिलेशन, कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिमूव्ह होईल. नंतर त्याचं काय होईल? ऑक्सिडेशन, हायड्रोजन रिमूव्ह होतो. And this hydrogen it is taken by NAD and NAD get converted into NADH2. After decarboxylation, 2 carbon compound that is acetyl fractions remains, and these acetyl fractions they are taken by coenzyme A. It result into formation of acetyl coenzyme A. This process it is called as acetylation, and now acetyl coenzyme A it enters into mitochondria for further breakdown, and that is why say this acetylation process it is considered as a connecting link between glycolysis and Krebs cycle. प्रश्न तो का कैसे होते? Connecting link between glycolysis and Krebs cycle. This is nothing but acetylation. आता हेच आपल्याला काय करायचे? या स्कीमॅटिक फॉर्म मध्ये दाखवायचे. 2 कार्बन कंपाऊंड पायरुव्हिक ऍसिड it undergoes decarboxylation as well as oxidation. Decarboxylation there is removal of carbon dioxide, oxidation there is removal of hydrogen. याच्यामधून हायड्रोजन रिमूव्ह होतो. It is taken by NAD, get converted into NADH2. And after decarboxylation, acetyl fraction remains. These are taken by coenzyme A and it forms acetyl coenzyme A. It is called as acetylation process. Now this acetyl coenzyme A it enters into Krebs cycle. आता दुसरी मेन स्टेप आपल्याला पाहिजे ते म्हणजे Krebs cycle. यालाच आपण TCA सायकल म्हणतो. इट इज आल्सो कॉल्ड एज सायट्रिक ऍसिड सायकल. जसं ग्लायकोलिसिस इट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप इन एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन, तसं Krebs cycle it is second step in aerobic respiration. It takes place where it is completed. It takes place in matrix of mitochondria in presence of oxygen. जे glycolysis पाहिलं ते anaerobic condition मध्ये पाहिलं in absence of oxygen. Krebs cycle takes place in matrix of mitochondria in presence of oxygen. Here acetyl coenzyme A it is completely oxidized. It is completely broken down and carbon dioxide and water these are released. And carbon dioxide and water these are formed. This cycle it was discovered by Sir Hans Krebs in 1937 in pigeon muscle. As it is described by Hans Krebs, name it is given Krebs cycle. And for this discovery, Hans Krebs received Nobel Prize in 1953. Sir Hans Krebs ने 1937 मध्ये पिजन मसल मध्ये डिस्कवर केले. 1937 मध्ये आणि नोबेल प्राइज कधी मिळालं 1953 मध्ये. आता सायट्रिक ऍसिड जो आहे इट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेबल कंपाउंड फॉर्म इन दिस सायकल and as citric acid it is the first stable compound form name it is given citric acid cycle. लक्षात आलं ना citric acid cycle का म्हणतो it is the first stable compound form. Let's see various acids which are produced in this cycle they contain or they shows presence of 3 carboxyl group and that is why name it is given tricarboxylic acid cycle or it is called as a TCA cycle. Like to that of glycolysis, here also each step it is catalyzed by specific enzymes. Another important point, NAD and FAD, these are called as coenzymes. And these NAD and FAD they takes hydrogen removed during oxidation process, and thus they gets converted into NADH2 and FADH2. So this is schematic representation of this Krebs cycle. The हा जो पार्ट आहे ग्लुकोज इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू पायरुवेट, ग्लायकोलिसिस पायरुवेट इट इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू acetyl coenzyme A, acetyl coenzyme A. This is acetyl coenzyme A. Hence it is called as acetylation process. Otherwise, during link reaction, this acetyl coenzyme A is formed. Now this acetyl coenzyme A enters into mitochondria, reacts with oxaloacetate in presence of enzyme citrate synthetase, and it produces 6 carbon compound that is called as citrate. In this step, water molecule is used and coenzyme A it is released. This reaction, first reaction, it is called as condensation reaction. काय म्हणतो या रिएक्शन आपण condensation reaction म्हणतो. फर्स्ट रिएक्शन that is called as condensation. आणि इजी रिएक्शन आहे. This takes place in presence of enzyme citrate synthetase, in presence of enzyme citrate synthetase. आता एक टेक्निकली एक्सेप्ट करा. बघा पहिल्या स्टेप मध्ये काय झालं, acetyl coenzyme A enters into mitochondria, reacts with oxaloacetate, forms 6 carbon compound citrate or citric acid in presence of enzyme citrate synthetase. In this step, one water molecule is used and coenzyme A is released. Then second step, see here there is removal of water. आता water जर रिमूव्ह झाला, बघा आपण काय म्हणतो हायड्रोजन रिमूव्ह झाला, ऑक्सिडेशन किंवा डिहायड्रोजिनेशन. कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिमूव्ह झाला, डिकार्बोनायलेशन. वॉटर रिमूव्ह झालं, डिहायड्रेशन. वॉटर ऍड झालं, दॅट इज कॉल्ड हायड्रेशन. याच्यावर तुमच्या लक्षात. आता सायट्रेट मधनं वॉटरचा लॉस होतो, म्हणजे रिएक्शन कुठली आली, इट इज कॉल्ड डिहायड्रेशन. means citrate loses water molecule. Citrate 6 carbon compound undergoes dehydration in presence of enzyme aconitase. In presence of enzyme aconitase, it forms 6 carbon compound cis-aconitate or cis-aconitic acid. Cis-aconitic acid. आता याच्यामध्ये काय होते, वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल ऍड होते. मग तिसरी स्टेप कुठली असेल, हायड्रेशन. बघा इथं वॉटर मॉलिक्यूलचा लॉस झाला, डिहायड्रेशन. इथं वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल ऍड झाला, हायड्रेशन. मग सिस ॲकोनिटेड 6 कार्बन कंपाउंड it undergoes or it is hydrated, means one molecule water molecule it is added in presence of same enzyme that is aconitase. कुठला एन्झाइम आहे इथं, aconitase. इथे सेम एन्झाइम आहे. काय काय होईल, 6 कार्बन कंपाउंड आयसोसायट्रेट. आता बघा आयसोसायट्रेट मधनं काय होतं, हायड्रोजनचा लॉस होतो. हायड्रोजन कोण घेईल, NAD. कन्वर्जन कशामध्ये होईल, NADH2. म्हणजे त्याचा अर्थ काय, या रिएक्शनला आपण काय म्हणतो, इट इज कॉल्ड ॲज ऑक्सिडेशन और इट इज कॉल्ड ॲज डिहायड्रोजनेशन. Isocitrate 6 carbon compound undergoes dehydrogenation or oxidation by removal of hydrogen. Hydrogen it is taken by NAD and it get converted into NaDH2 in presence of enzyme isocitrate dehydrogenase. Isocitrate dehydrogenase. Then next point. आता इथे बघा काय तयार झालं ऑक्झॅलोसक्सिनेट 6 कार्बन कंपाऊंड तयार झालं. ऑक्झॅलोसक्सिनेट इट लुजेस कार्बन डायऑक्साइड म्हणजे रिएक्शन कुठली असणार डिकार्बोझायलेशन कुठली डिकार्बोझायलेशन. ऑक्झॅलोसक्सिनेट 6 कार्बन कंपाऊंड अंडरगोज डिकार्बोझायलेशन means there is removal of carbon dioxide. In presence of enzyme oxalosuccinate decarboxylase, it form 5 carbon compound alpha ketobutyrate or alpha ketobutaric acid. Remember, only one 5 carbon compound. एकमेव 5 कार्बन कंपाऊंड जर क्रेबच्या सायकल मध्ये कुठला असेल तर तो म्हणजे अल्फा ketobutyrate. अल्फा ketobutyrate. Then alpha ketoglutarate it undergoes oxidation means there is removal of hydrogen and it also undergoes decarboxylation. This is called as oxidative decarboxylation. या स्टेपला काय म्हणायचं ऑक्सिडेटिव्ह डिकार्बोझायलेशन. का म्हणायचं कारण तो ऑक्सिडेशन होतोय आणि कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिमूव्ह होतो म्हणजे डिकार्बोझायलेशन होतोय. दॅट इज व्हाय इट इज कॉल्ड as oxidative decarboxylation. In presence of enzyme alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase it form 4 carbon compound. First 4 carbon compound formed in Krebs cycle that is succinyl coenzyme A. Succinyl coenzyme A. Now there is hydration and phosphorylation. म्हणजे इथं एक वॉटर मॉलिक्यूल ऍड होतो. काय होतो ऍड या स्टेपला हायड्रेशन फॉस्फोरिलेशन होतो. इथे बघा सक्सिनिल कोएंजाइम A it undergoes hydration by addition of water and phosphorylation. Then what will happen? Succinate or succinic acid is formed. Coenzyme A is released and this coenzyme A it is taken by succinyl it forms succinyl coenzyme A. आता बघा याच्यामध्ये जी एनर्जी रिलीज होते this energy is taken by GDP and it get converted into GTP. GTP guanosine triphosphate. But GTP it is relatively unstable and that is why it get converted into ATP. याला आपण सबस्ट्रेट लेवल फॉस्फोरिलेशन असं सुद्धा काय म्हणतो सबस्ट्रेट लेवल फॉस्फोरिलेशन. काय तयार झालं 4 carbon compound succinate. This succinate it loses hydrogen means it is oxidation reaction. This hydrogen it is taken by FAD. FAD get converted into FADH in presence of enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. Then this fumarate it undergoes hydration when there is addition of water in presence of enzyme fumarate form 4 carbon compound malate or malic acid. Then finally this malate or malic acid it loses water म्हणजे रिएक्शन कुठली आली ऑक्सिडेशन कुठली ऑक्सिडेशन. This hydrogen it is taken by NAD and NaDH2 is formed and finally oxaloacetate is regenerated to continue this cycle again. This is about the Krebs cycle or TCA cycle. एकदा का स्कीमॅटिक रिप्रेझेंटेशन तुमच्या लक्षात राहिलं याच्यावर कसाही प्रश्न विचारला तरी तुम्ही त्याचा आन्सर फाइंड आउट करू शकता. आणि एक लक्षात घ्या याच्यामध्ये 5 कार्बन कंपाऊंड कुठले 6 कार्बन कंपाऊंड कुठले 4 कार्बन कंपाऊंड कुठले हे लक्षात ठेवायला लागेल. आणखी प्रश्न कशामध्ये येतो rearrange the acids of Krebs cycle in their proper sequence. म्हणजे तुम्हाला कसे देते समजा सक्सिनेट दिलं सक्सिनेट कोएंजाइम A दिलं नंतर आयसोसायट्रेट दिलं सायट्रेट दिलं यांची तुम्हाला प्रॉपर सिक्वेन्स लावावा लागेल. आलं लक्षात. म्हणजे पहिलं सायट्रेट A दुसरं ऑक्झॅलो सक्सिनेट येईल, तिसरा सक्सिनिक कोएंजाइम येईल आणि नंतर मग सक्सिनेट, जे प्रॉपर सिक्वेन्स तुम्हाला लावायला. तर हे झालं कोणाबद्दल, क्रेब्स सायकल किंवा टीसीए सायकल किंवा सायट्रिक ऍसिड सायकल. आता आपल्याला याच्यामध्ये काय पाहिजे की क्रेब्सच्या सायकल मध्ये ऑक्सिडेशन किती वेळेस होते, डिकार्बोझायलेशन किती वेळेस होते, हे आता आपण काय करूया डिटेल मध्ये पाहूया. Now we will discuss the overview of this Krebs cycle. See, in Krebs cycle along with acetylation there are 3 decarboxylation steps. जे क्रेब्स सायकल मध्ये ऍसिडायलेशन सही जर आपण पाहिलं तर 3 ठिकाणी कार्बन डायऑक्साइड रिमूव्ह. पहिली स्टेप कुठली, पायरुविक ऍसिड इट फॉर्म ऍसिटिल कोएंजाइम A + CO2 C. दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप. पायरुवेट इट फॉर्म ऍसिटिल कोएंजाइम A. Here carbon dioxide is removed. Second step, that is oxalosuccinate. It forms alpha ketoglutarate. Oxalosuccinate loses carbon dioxide. And third step, alpha ketoglutarate, it also loses carbon dioxide. These are 3 steps. Then in Krebs cycle, oxidation occurs in 4 steps. First, isocytric acid. It undergoes oxidation by removal of hydrogen, which is taken by NAD. It forms oxalosuccinic acid. Then alpha ketoglutarate acid. It forms succinic coenzyme A. This is also oxidation step. Third oxidation step, succinic acid. It undergoes oxidation by removal of hydrogen, which is taken by NAD. It forms fumaric acid. Next, malic acid undergoes oxidation by removal of hydrogen. It is taken by NAD, form oxaloacetate or oxaloacetic acid. In Krebs cycle, there are 4 hydrogen donors. Same. कुठले, isocytric acid, alpha ketoglutarate acid, succinic acid आणि malic acid. यांचं ऑक्सिडेशन होतं म्हणजे हे हायड्रोजन डोनर आहे. आणि हायड्रोजन ऍक्सेप्टर दोनच आहे, एक म्हणजे एफएडी आणि दुसरा म्हणजे एनएडी. आता याच्यामध्ये बघा 1 NADH2 it gives 3 ATP molecule, 1 FADH2 it gives 2 ATP molecule, and 1 GTP is equal to 1 ATP. At the end of glycolysis we have seen 2 molecules of pyruvate they are formed. Both these molecules enters in Krebs cycle. Means Krebs cycle it is repeated for twice. It is repeated 2 times. Hence the 2 terms they form 6 NADH2. एका टर्म मध्ये NADH2 किती तयार झाले बघा, 1 2 आणि 3. मग 2 टर्म साठी 6 NADH2. FADH2 किती तयार झाले, एकच FADH2. मग 2 टर्म साठी 2 FADH2 आणि एका टर्म मध्ये 1 ATP, म्हणजे 2 टर्म मध्ये 2 ATP. टोटल जर आपण पाहिलं नेट गेन ऑफ ATP 6 NADH2 into 3 ATP 18 ATP, 2 FADH2 into 2 ATP 4 ATP, and 2 ATP into 1 ATP means 2 ATP. Total net gain it is a 24 ATP molecule. So this is overall about the Krebs cycle.